Q&A day. It's Q&A day. It's Q&A day. Look, I have a little pom-pom. What's up, socials? Welcome back to my channel. Today is Q&A day. I went over to my Twitter and Instagram and asked you guys for questions with the hashtag AskSSS, and let's get into it. Caitlin asked, what's your go-to place or activity for content inspiration? I definitely think just tweeting on a regular basis with you guys or just getting replies back from my email list. If you're subscribed to my emails and replying with questions and things, that's usually an abundant amount of content inspiration. You guys constantly tell me what you want from me. But I also like to just pay attention to what's trending and what's happening in the world, because I like to be able to connect the dots between what everyone is thinking and experiencing on the outside and what's actually happening in sort of our arena of going after the life you want. How can you tie those things together? So that's both, paying attention to mainstream media, listening to people just talk on the street, see what people are using on their phones. When I'm in line at the coffee shop, I'm like looking around at like people's phones and seeing like what apps they're using. I just like to see what is actually happening in the world and how can that inspire me to make a new video for you that's going to actually make sense of something. Bjorn asked, do you think it's okay to have one channel for multiple types of video, tech reviews, blog, book reviews, etc.? I absolutely think this is fine. This channel is very maybe newly in the territory of doing lots of different kinds of content. I'll do sort of me vlogging my life versus me vlogging something like this, a subject matter or answering a question. So I definitely think you can do all of those things. The only time your channel should change is when the person you're talking to is not the same person as another channel. So if the person that you vlog for, whether it's a tech review or a book review, or you're just letting them know how your day went, is the same kind of person across the board, it's the same type of viewer, the same avatar, the same, I talk to Charlotte when I'm vlogging. That's who I'm talking to right now. I'm answering Bjorn's question for Charlotte. As long as that person continues to stay the same, I think you keep it all in the same channel. So many people spread themselves thin and try to say like, oh, I have to have my tech review here and I have to have my book reviews there. If they are geared toward different people, then yes, separate them. But if you're doing it just because of cleanliness, you're spreading yourself across all of these channels. They're probably all going to be mediocre at best, when you could be fueling every ounce of energy you have and talent and planning and editorial into one channel. And it's actually probably going to perform better when you do that, instead of saying, oh, well, it's one video a week, but if it's a tech review, it goes here, and if it's a book review, it's over there. It doesn't matter. Each channel is being weighed separately. So I personally think that you should just go all in on one, knock it out of the park. And if you've got to start making things a little bit cleaner down the road, at least you have an audience who you can have help you do that later on. Okay, Sarah Moore gets the award for asking me the most off-the-wall question I think I've ever gotten, but I'm totally gonna answer it because I am getting joy out of this. To her credit, she started this with, okay, strange question. Do you find you have to wash your hair more because of all the facial lotions and potions? Clearly, that is my pet peeve about skincare. I'm very OCD. So I completely pin my hair back and I put like a headband on and I protect my hair no matter how dirty it is. Whenever I'm washing my face, I have like 3 different cleansers, toners, serums, moisturizer, eye cream, all that stuff. Like nothing gets in my hair. But also because I don't wash my hair every single day, and I definitely don't wash it every other day. I'm not going to tell you how often I wash it. Because I don't wash it as much, it tends to survive longer between washes. I think people that wash their hair too much end up finding that they can't go longer without washing unless they really make themselves do it, because their hair is so used to getting washed all the time. It's creating a lot more oil. So that's just been my experience. Good question. Carlos asked, how can one pitch their value to a sponsor when their channel is still very young and not near as large as others in the niche, though growing? Carlos, if you are only comparing yourself to your own subscriber number, then it's going to be a hard battle all the way. Every single sponsor I've ever talked to, I could have said to myself, there's no way that they're going to pick me, because there's channels with 1 million subscribers, 10 million subscribers. Why would they even want to work with me? We do live in a time where micro, and I believe I'm considered a macro influencer, which is below 100,000, or no, maybe it's below 1 million or something like that. In this world where those micro and macro and then huge influencers are all being weighed for different reasons, the ones that are huge are actually less likely to get as much engagement in a ratio that a micro or macro in our cases would be. So you should go to your sponsor and feel very confident that you have a community, they care about what you talk about, here's how you've educated them thus far, and now you explain to the sponsor how they fit into the equation of your relationships that you've built. Until you reframe it and think of it that way, no sponsor is going to want to work with you because you're more worried about your own subscriber number than you are the value that you've already packaged for yourself to be set up for success, much less a sponsor that gets to be a part of the story. Inquire to choir. That's adorable. Wanted to know what to do when you don't live in a country where YouTube is considered important. It seems that people here are a few years behind. It's mostly used for listening to music. Personal brand videos are mostly ignored, and there are not a lot of advertisers. If that's the case, then I think you need to kind of figure out if you are making video content for the people that are in that country and YouTube itself is not important to that country, which is really mind-blowing to me because I would love to know what video platform is the number one video platform. If there is one, I would imagine if it's not YouTube, it's Facebook, but YouTube is super important in a lot of countries. However, that could be my ignorance speaking. Maybe I don't know. If you're making videos for people within that country, you need to go where people hang out. Period. It's not about YouTube anymore. It's about your audience. Where are they? How do you show up for them? If it's not YouTube, it's something else. So go and do the type of video that will actually get you on their radar. You need to understand the viewer before you're worried about, oh, I want a personal brand YouTube channel. That's just a personal thing that you want. That has nothing to do with marketing to a certain demographic. If it doesn't fit, the square doesn't fit into the circle, then stop trying to make the square happen. So if it's different kinds of video on Facebook that work, then go there. But don't try to force YouTube just because it's what everybody in the States is saying to do. That being said, if you're marketing to a different country, then your country does not matter anymore. What their trend is does not matter. Where is your avatar? Where's your viewer? That's who you need to talk to, and that's how you decide where you make content and how. Anthony asked, for those people who are getting a little bit more serious about vlogging, where can they find more in-depth trainings from you? That's a really good question. I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a website called vlogbosuniversity.com, and I put anything there that I think would be useful to you that's a little bit more intense than a normal YouTube video. I have a couple of different things. 30 Days to Better Vlogging is a 30-day class that I have. Sexy Video Editing is another class. I have a group coaching program that's featured there. So if you're ever curious about how can Amy help you more with vlogging, like you're ready to go to that next level, maybe you can't come to a conference or hire me to speak, you like watching videos and you're ready to go to take a next step, aside from reading my book, that should really be the first step. You should go visit vlogbosuniversity.com because all of that stuff is accessible to you from the get-go. It's like my little store. I'm like a storekeeper. That's all for October Q&A. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. If you have more questions for me, leave them in the comments below, especially if it's going to help me come up with some good video ideas for November. I want to hear from you because I'm planning editorial right now. So let me know. Remember to keep vlogging like a boss so that you can go after the life you want. Cheers. All right, I literally have to walk out the door in 5 minutes to speak. Not cramming it in at all today, are you, Amy? No.